Do you ever wonder if you're making little mistakes that everyone around you notices, but no one has the courage to tell you about? As we get older, many of us develop habits that seem harmless on the surface, yet they quietly shape how others see us. And here's the truth. Some of these habits can make us appear careless, stubborn, or even out of touch. But the good news is, once you recognize them, they're easy to fix, and doing so can transform how you carry yourself in daily life. In today's video, we're going to uncover 9 common mistakes older people make, things neighbors, friends, and even family notice, but usually keep to themselves. You might be surprised by how small these actions are, yet how much they influence the respect and warmth you receive from others. And if you stick with me to the very end, you'll see how avoiding these habits can not only change the way people look at you, but also how you feel about yourself. So if you've ever worried about unintentionally giving off the wrong impression, or if you want to carry yourself with dignity and strength, no matter your age, this video is for you. Stay tuned, because each point we cover may reveal something you never realized was holding you back. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Poor posture in public. One of the first mistakes that older people make, often without realizing it, is walking or standing with poor posture. A slouched back, drooping shoulders, or a downward gaze might seem like just a matter of comfort, but it sends a strong signal to others. People tend to associate posture with confidence, strength, and vitality. When your posture weakens, others may assume you're frail, disinterested, or even less capable than you actually are. Psychologists have long noted that body language communicates more powerfully than words. Standing tall with your head up tells the world you're present and engaged. On the other hand, a bent-over stance can unintentionally make you invisible, which is why so many older adults complain that people overlook them or fail to take them seriously. The good news is that correcting posture doesn't require expensive equipment. Simple daily stretches, balance exercises, or even reminding yourself to straighten your back while walking can make a remarkable difference. I once knew a gentleman named Robert in his early 70s who carried himself with such poise that people often guessed he was younger. His secret wasn't youth, it was posture. By practicing a few minutes a day, he projected dignity and vitality wherever he went. So if you've ever caught yourself leaning on a cane when you didn't need to, or staring down at the floor as you walk, remember that people notice, and standing tall not only helps others see you differently, but helps you feel stronger inside. Number 2. Speaking too loudly. Another mistake older people often make, and it rarely goes unnoticed, is speaking too loudly in conversations. This usually happens because hearing naturally declines with age, and many compensate by raising their own voice. The problem is, others around you notice it instantly, and it can make people uncomfortable, even if they don't mention it. Think of how conversations work. The tone and volume of speech carry as much meaning as the words themselves. When you speak too loudly in a quiet restaurant, a family gathering, or even at church, it can unintentionally signal frustration, impatience, or a loss of social awareness. People may not tell you, but they'll remember how it felt. From a psychological standpoint, when someone raises their voice, listeners unconsciously associate it with tension. It can break the warmth of the moment, making others withdraw. But it's important to recognize that this habit isn't a flaw in character. It's usually just an adjustment to hearing loss. That means it can be managed. For example, a woman named Susan, age 68, noticed her grandchildren stepping back whenever she spoke. Her daughter gently suggested she have her hearing checked. After getting a small hearing aid, Susan not only spoke at a normal tone again, but she also found her relationships warmed up quickly. People leaned in instead of backing away, and she realized how much her voice had been shaping those interactions. So while others may not tell you directly, they notice when your voice dominates a room. Adjusting your tone not only helps you connect more naturally, but it also shows respect for the shared space of conversation. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe to Glow Life and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, dressing without care. A mistake that older people often fall into, and that everyone notices immediately, is neglecting their appearance when it comes to clothing. Wearing mismatched outfits, clothes that are too loose or too tight, or simply not paying attention to grooming sends a silent message. Even though no one may mention it, people around you form impressions right away. Clothing has always been a powerful form of non-verbal communication. Psychologists tell us that how you dress affects not only how others see you, but also how you see yourself. When seniors stop caring about what they wear, others may interpret it as a loss of confidence, energy, or even mental sharpness. Yet, often the truth is simply that comfort took priority, or habits formed years ago carried on. But the surprising part is how small adjustments can turn this around. A clean, well-fitted shirt, shoes that look cared for, or even just coordinating colors can completely change the way people respond. I once knew an older fellow named Thomas in his late 70s who started dressing more intentionally after years of wearing whatever was easiest. He noticed that people suddenly complimented him, asked him for advice more often, and even treated him with greater respect. Nothing about him changed except the way he presented himself. The mistake isn't about comfort, it's about neglecting the fact that appearance influences perception. Dressing with a bit of care isn't vanity, it's a statement of dignity and self-respect. People may not tell you when you look unkempt, but trust me, they notice. Number 4, repeating the same stories. One mistake that nearly every older person has been guilty of is telling the same story again and again. You may not even realize it, but others notice quickly, and while they won't say anything out of kindness, it leaves an impression. When conversations circle back to the same tale you've told 3 or 4 times, people may quietly tune out, even though they still care about you. From a psychological angle, repeating stories often comes from memory changes. Our brains naturally reach for familiar paths, and the stories we've told many times are easier to recall than new ones. There's also comfort in revisiting moments that meant a lot to us. The problem is that the people listening may interpret it as forgetfulness or even a lack of awareness of their presence. Yet, this can be managed with a little mindfulness. Some seniors find it helpful to keep a mental list of fresh stories or recent experiences to share. Others lean on humor by acknowledging, "I may have told you this before," which puts everyone at ease. I remember a woman named Linda in her early 80s who laughed at herself whenever she repeated something, saying, "Well, good stories are worth hearing twice." That small self-awareness not only kept her dignity intact, but made people enjoy her company even more. The truth is, no one minds hearing your memories, they just want to feel you're present in the moment with them. So even though repeating yourself is a common slip, being intentional about variety in conversation helps others feel more engaged with you. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe to Glow Life and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, ignoring personal appearance. Another mistake that older people make, which everyone notices but rarely points out, is neglecting their personal appearance. It is not about looking glamorous or fashionable, it is about showing that you still care about yourself and the impression you leave on others. When clothes are stained, hair is unkempt, or shoes are worn out, people often notice immediately, even if they do not say a word. Psychologically, how we present ourselves sends a powerful message. When you take care of your appearance, you are telling the world, I still matter and I respect myself. On the other hand, neglecting it can unintentionally signal that you have given up or no longer value social interaction. Studies in psychology have shown that self-care directly impacts confidence and mood, which then affects how others engage with us. I knew a man named Robert in his late 70s who had fallen into the habit of wearing the same old jacket and shoes every day, no matter the occasion. His daughter finally encouraged him to update a few pieces of clothing, and the change was remarkable. Not only did he look sharper, but people around him treated him with more respect and warmth, which lifted his spirits. The transformation had less to do with fashion and more to do with dignity. People notice when you walk into a room looking like you put in some effort, even if it is small. It does not mean expensive clothes or fancy accessories. It can be as simple as wearing a clean shirt, trimming your nails, or combing your hair before you step out. These little acts of self-respect make others more eager to engage with you and help keep your social connections alive and strong. Number 6. Talking too much about illness. One of the easiest traps older people fall into is bringing every conversation back to health problems. Whether it is aches, medications, or doctor visits, constantly talking about illness makes others feel uncomfortable, even though they rarely tell you. Friends, neighbors, and even family members may quietly withdraw because they do not know how to respond without feeling drained. From a psychological standpoint, people seek positive energy in relationships. When conversations repeatedly center on pain and decline, it can signal hopelessness, and others begin to associate you with negativity. This does not mean you should hide your struggles, but balance is essential. Sharing openly is healthy, yet when it becomes the main topic every time, people start noticing, and they may avoid spending as much time with you. I recall a woman named Martha, age 74, who had a wonderful sense of humor and many friends, but over the years her conversations became dominated by her arthritis and prescriptions. Slowly, her visitors stopped dropping by, and she felt more isolated. When she realized this, she made a conscious effort to mix in stories about her grandchildren, books she was reading, and memories from her travels. Suddenly, people leaned in again, because she was more than her pain. The truth is, everyone notices when someone cannot move past their illnesses in conversation. What truly leaves an impression is when an older person shares resilience, curiosity, or humor, despite their challenges. That kind of spirit draws people closer rather than pushing them away. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe to Glow Life and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 7. Ignoring modern etiquette. Another mistake many older people make is dismissing or overlooking modern manners and social expectations. The world has changed quickly, and things that once seemed normal, like commenting on someone's weight, asking about salaries, or making jokes that were acceptable decades ago, are now viewed very differently. Younger people especially notice these slips, but out of respect, they rarely correct you. Instead, they simply take mental note and sometimes distance themselves. Psychologically, etiquette is about showing that you're aware of the world around you and respectful of others' feelings. When someone repeatedly ignores today's standards, it can come across as being out of touch or even inconsiderate. This is not a matter of abandoning your values, it's about staying adaptable. Adaptability itself is a sign of wisdom, and it communicates that you value connection over stubbornness. For example, I knew a gentleman named Frank, 81 years old, who often asked younger relatives when they were going to get married or have children. He meant no harm. He thought he was showing interest, but these questions made them uncomfortable. Once he learned to shift his curiosity toward their hobbies or career progress, the conversations became lighter, warmer, and more enjoyable for everyone. Everyone notices when someone clings to old ways without adjusting to the present, but when an older adult embraces modern etiquette, it surprises people in the best way. It shows vitality, awareness, and respect, qualities that make others want to keep you close in their lives. Number 8. Speaking without listening. One of the most common mistakes older adults make is dominating conversations without giving equal space to others. Many do it without realizing they've lived long lives, they have countless stories, and they feel eager to share wisdom. But when you speak much more than you listen, it creates an imbalance that others quietly notice. They may nod politely, but inside they may feel unheard or unvalued. Psychologically, listening is one of the most powerful ways to bond with people. It communicates humility and curiosity. When an older person listens closely, it breaks the stereotype that seniors are set in their ways. Instead, it shows openness and emotional intelligence. People often find themselves drawn to those who make them feel understood. I once knew a woman named Eleanor, 78, who loved telling her stories. At family dinners, she spoke for long stretches without letting anyone else chime in. Her grandchildren, though respectful, became less eager to engage. But when Eleanor made a conscious shift to ask questions first, "How was your week?" or "What's new with you?" her family's energy changed. The conversations became richer, and she found that people wanted to spend more time with her. Everyone notices when someone talks over others, even if no one mentions it. On the other hand, when you truly listen, people leave feeling lighter and more connected. That simple act of attention is often more impactful than any advice or story you could share. Number 9. Ignoring appearance in small ways. Another mistake older people make is thinking that little details in personal appearance no longer matter. It may not seem important whether your shirt is wrinkled, your shoes are scuffed, or your hair is unkempt. But these subtle signals are things everyone around you notices instantly, even if they remain silent. People often draw conclusions about your energy, confidence, and health based on these outward cues. Psychologically, appearance is tied to self-respect. When you maintain small habits of grooming and dressing neatly, it shows you still value yourself and the impression you make on others. This doesn't mean chasing trends or spending a fortune on clothes. It simply means being intentional, choosing clean, well-fitting attire, polishing shoes, and combing your hair before heading out. These little touches speak volumes about how much you care for yourself. Take, for example, Robert, an 81-year-old who loved his neighborhood walks. For years, he wore worn-out sweatpants and slippers, thinking no one cared. Yet, neighbors began treating him with a kind of gentle pity, as if he were frail. One day, he decided to wear pressed slacks, a tucked-in shirt, and proper shoes. The response was immediate. People greeted him differently, with admiration and respect. And he even said he felt taller just from standing straighter. The truth is, small details make a big difference. When older adults dismiss them, others notice and quietly form judgments. But when you pay attention to your appearance in these little ways, you send a powerful message. You're still present, still confident, and still engaged with life. In final thoughts, life after 60 is filled with wisdom, experience, and countless stories worth sharing. Yet, it is also a season where small habits can either lift you up or slowly chip away at your confidence. These 9 mistakes we've discussed aren't about judgment, they're about awareness. When you recognize them, you gain the power to shift your daily choices and present yourself in the best possible light. The truth is, everyone notices more than they say. Your posture, your words, your expressions, and even the way you care for your appearance, all of it leaves an impression on those around you. The goal is not to become perfect or please others, but to live in a way that reflects the dignity, strength, and vitality you still possess. You deserve to be seen as capable and respected, not overlooked or pitied. So take these insights as gentle reminders, not criticisms. Each small adjustment you make, whether it's minding your tone of voice, keeping up good posture, or remembering to smile, becomes a gift to yourself. It's about reinforcing the truth that aging does not diminish your worth or your ability to inspire others. Thank you for joining us today on Glow Life. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.